ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां विदये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। Can you mute your mic now? We have seen elaborately in the previous classes that Trigunatmika Maya Sahita Brahmanaha Akashaha Sambhutaha Akashat Vayu Vayo Ragnihi or Vayo Stejaha Tejasa Apaha Adhyah Prithvi. The creation at the Sukshma level, subtle level we have discussed. That is, from Maya Sahita Brahma, Sukshma Akasha was born, and from Sukshma Akasha, Sukshma Vayu, from Sukshma Vayu, Sukshma Tejas or Agni, from Sukshma Agni, Sukshma Apa, from Sukshma Apa, Sukshma Prithvi. All the 5 elements at the Sukshma level are created now. And this is called Sukshma Panchabhuta Srishti, the creation of 5 subtle elements. And we have seen that the Akasha, it has the guna of sound, Shabda. Vayu, it has the guna of sound and touch. Agni has the guna of sound, touch and form, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa. Apaha, it has the guna of sound, touch, form and taste, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa. Prithvi has the guna of sound, touch, form, taste and smell, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Akasha is the most subtle, Ati Sukshma. Why? Because it has only one guna, one property, which is Shabda. And Prithvi has the most number of gunas and therefore least subtle. And therefore, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi, they have the exclusive property of sound, touch, form, taste, and smell, respectively. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Five elements and five properties. And we have five senses. Shotram, Tvak, Chakshu, Rasana, Grana. Ears, skin, eyes, tongue, and nose. Now, after the creation of five subtle elements, the next stage in the Srishti Krama, the sequence of creation is the creation of subtle body. How is Sukshma Shariram created? Pancha Mahabhutai Kritam. Panchikrita Pancha Mahabhutai Kritam. We saw. Sukshma Shariram, it is formed from five subtle elements. Pancha Mahabhutani. That which is made from Bhutani is called Bhautikani. Bhutani is elements. Bhautikani is elementals. That which is made from elements is called elemental Bhautikani. So Sukshma Shariram, therefore it is Bhautikani, elemental. Since it is made from elements. And what does this Sukshma Shariram consist of? Pancha Jnanendriyani, Pancha Karmendriyani, Pancha Pranarayaha, Ekam Manaha, Eka Buddhi. So this is the second stage in the creation. Sukshma Bhautika Srishti. And these five elements, five subtle elements, which are born of Maya, that's three gunas, inherited from Maya. Karana gunaha karye anuvartante. The gunas, the properties of the karanam, are inherited by the karyam. Karya means effect, the product, and karanam, the cause. And what is the karanam? And what is the cause? Maya is the karanam, and Pancha Mahabhutani, the five subtle elements, they are the karyam. Therefore, Karanatmaka Maya Yaha Janitanam Karyatmaka Pancha Mahabhutanam Gunaha Karana Anusarinaha Bhavanti. Simple Sanskritam. Karanatmaka Maya Yaha, from the Maya, which is the Karanam, Janitanam, born Karyatmaka Pancha Mahabhutanam Gunaha. That is, guna of the product will be in keeping with the effect, the cause, the karanam. Karanam follows the properties of the karyam. Yasmat yata jayate tat karanena vyapyate. In another way we can put it. That is, the karyam is always permeated by the karanam. Therefore, Akasha also now will have Sattvika Akasha, Rajasika Akasha, and Tamasika Akasha. Similarly, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, and Prithvi, each will have now Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas aspect. Why? Because Maya has its three gunas. Therefore, Akashasya Sattvikamshat Shrotrendriyam Sambhutam. Vayogo Sattvikamshat Vagindriyam Arthagindriyam Sambhutam. Agnege Sattvikamshat Chakshurindriyam Sambhutam. Jalasya Sattvikamshat Rasanendriyam Sambhutam. Pratuvyaga Sattvikamshat Granendriyam Sambhutam. That is, from the Sattva aspect of Akasha, the sense organ of ear, Shrotram, is born. Since the unique property of Akasha, Sukshma Akasha, being Shabda, the sound, the sense organ, ear, which is born of Akasha, it has the ability of recognizing Shabda, sound. The unique property of the elements determine the corresponding faculty of the sense organs which are born of those elements. In Sanskrit, we can say, Yasmat Bhutat Yat Indriyam Jayate Tasya Bhutasya Vishesha Gunam Tadindriyam Janati. That Indriya knows that Vishesha Guna from which element it has born. Therefore, Sukshma Akashat Shrotrendriyam Jagate. Tasya Sukshma Akashasya Vishesha Shabdagunam Shrotrendriyam Janati. Since the sense organ ear, it is born of space, and space, the guna of space being sound, the ear has a capability, ability of recognizing sound. I hope you can understand Sanskrit. I am giving the translation also. Similarly, from the sattva aspect of Vayu, the sense organ, the skin was born. Sukshma Vayogo Tvagindriyam Jagate Sambhutam. Tasya Sukshma Vayogo Vishesha Gunam, Vishesha Sparsha Gunam, Tvagindriyam Janati. The unique property of Sukshma Vayu, it is Sparsha, touch, and therefore the sense organ, skin, which is born of Sukshma Vayu, it has the ability of the perception of touch. Similarly, from the sattva aspect of fire, Agni, the sense organ of eye was born. Sukshma tejasaha chakshurindriyam sambhutam jayate. Tasya sukshma tejasaha vishesha rupa gunam chakshurindriyam janati. Since the unique property of sukshma tejas being rupam, form or shape, or color, the sense organ eyes, which is born of Sukshma Tejas, it has the ability of perception, visualization. From the Sattva aspect of Apaha, the sense organ of tongue was born. Sukshma Adhyaha Rasanendriyam Jayate Tasya Sukshma Adhyaha Vishesha Rasagunam Vagindriyam Janati. The unique property of Sukshma Apa, it is Rasa. Therefore, the sense organ, Vak, that is tongue, which is born of Sukshma Apa, it has the special property of taste, special capability of taste. Similarly, Sukshma Prituvyaha Granendriyam Jayate Tasyaha Sukshma Prituvyaha, because Prithvi is Strilinga. Therefore, Tasyaha Sukshma Prituvyaha Vishesha Shabda Gunam Granendriyam Janati. The Sukshma Akasha, from the aspect of Prithvi, the sense organ of the nose. Sense organ of nose was born. And the unique property of Prithvi being Gandha, smell, the sense organ, Nasika, it has the ability of smell. Can you all hear me? Is there any problem in hearing? Okay, thank you. So, therefore, from these Tattva Guna of each element, each sense organ is born. The 5 sense organs, Indriyani, of the Sukshma Sharira are born now. And now, are these 5 sense organs, are they subtle or gross? Since they are part of subtle body, Sukshma Shariram, They should be subtle, sukshma. And therefore, indriyam. If it is gross, they have another name. What is that? Golakam. Okay. Now, can these sense organs function on its own? No. Without the mind, these sense organs cannot function. Therefore, each mind has to be created. That we have seen. Pancha tattvanam, etesham pancha tattvanam, samishti sattvika amshat antakaranani sambhutani. The sattvika aspect of each element, they contributed to form antakaranam. From the samishti sattvika aspect of the 5 elements, antakaranam is born. That is, from the sattva amsha, in equal measure from each element is taken, and antakaranam is born out of that. Sattva guna of all the 5 elements put together, they form antakaranam. Therefore, antakaranam is nothing but samishti sattva gunaha. Samishti sattva gunaha of the 5 elements. Since sattva stands for knowledge, antakaranam, which is born of sattva guna of the Panchamahabhutas, it is responsible for perception and response in line with the input given by the sense organs. Therefore, it has to be made of sattva guna only. In both ways, we can say. And this antakaranam, it is there in the function of all the sense organs as well as the organs of action. Therefore, antakaranam must know or knows what each sense organ does, and therefore antakaranam is kevala sattva gunakam. Kevala sattva gunakam. It is made of pure sattva guna of each element. And this antakaranam, it is only one, but based on functions, it is divided into 4. Antakaranam has 4 different functions, and therefore it is called by 4 different names. These names are only functional names, but in English we call it just by the name mind. But we call it is antakaranam because it is not only mind; it has 4 names based on the function. Like the same person plays the role of a father, son, brother, and husband, so too the antakaranam being one, it takes different roles and different functions, and therefore gets different names. Now each one of this, it is defined now. Mano buddhi ahankara chitta mano buddhi ahankara chitta antakaranani. Mano buddhi ahankara chittani antakaranani. And sankalpa vikalpatmakam manaha. What is mind? It is sankalpa vikalpatmakam manaha nischayatmika buddhihi ahankaraha chintanakartra chittam. Chintanakartra chittam is one word. Up to this we saw in the previous class. Now it is continuing. Now we will continue with antakaranani. The first one, the first sankalpa vikalpatmakam manaha and nischayatmika buddhihi, that we have seen. In the beginning itself we have seen, but here also we will see what it is. In case if we have forgotten, we can recollect. Sankalpa vikalpatmakam manaha. That is, mind is of the nature of sankalpa and vikalpa. Manas is sakaranta. Sakaranta napumsakalinga. Manas shabda. Therefore, sankalpatmakam vikalpatmakam manaha. Sankalpa vikalpa means doubting or the vacillating faculty, oscillation. Like the pendulum which goes to and fro, similarly the mind oscillates between the two conditions. Two. First, the mind, the antakaranam, it has to consider the pros and cons of everything before asking the sense organ of action or the indriya to do its function. For example, to know that this is a pushpam, a flower, what do? First, you see the flower. Chakshu, eyes see the flower. Then a question comes: is it a real flower? Because it could be a plastic flower also. Therefore, there is a dialogue which takes place in the mind. Since you are not sure whether it is a real flower, it may be a real flower, sankalpa. It may not be a real flower, vikalpa. An option is always given. It may be or it may not be. And this inconclusiveness, indecisiveness, which is preceded by sankalpa and vikalpa, due to uncertainty in evaluating the object. Here, the flower. That is the job of manas. The two thoughts, the vritti, about an object is sankalpa and vikalpa. When there are two thoughts, there is doubt. Therefore, it is samshayatmakam. Samshayatmaka antakarana vritti. It is a process of thinking. In that process, there is vacillation. Oscillation is there. Did I lock the door? Yes, I think I locked the door. It is sankalpa. And now doubt comes. I don't think so. Maybe I would not have locked the door. That is vikalpa, vacillation. So you go back and again you just pull the lock to see whether it is locked. So this is sankalpatmakam, vikalpatmakam. Not only to the action, you can bring all the emotions, your positive and negative emotions, feelings, everything under the karma. All the thoughts you can bring. And all the thoughts, vritti, along with the sensory perception, with relevant to various objects, it has to take place only in the mind, antakarana. As long as it is not conclusive thought, conclusive vritti, these thoughts will be there in the mind. So after thinking and analyzing all the possibilities, now the mind, antakaranam, it has to play the role of buddhi. Otherwise, the person will be doubting Thomas, indecisive. And this lack of clarity, aviveka, it is responsible for a person being aviveka. To attend the class or not to attend, to marry or not to marry, to go for this job or that job. This indecisiveness is a problem. It is not a problem of the mind, it is a problem of the person. It is due to aviveka. And therefore now the buddhi, it has not yet come to play the next role, decision making. That it has to come. The buddhi should be active and it should clearly distinguish the outcome of the two possibilities. If the person is overpowered by raga dvesha, attachment and aversion, then the mind, manas will dominate and buddhi will not function. Therefore, manaha, it is sankalpa vikalpatmakam. That is the first stage. And now this manas will take the form of buddhi. Once it has reached the conclusion about an object or a thing or a situation, now it will play the role of buddhi. Notice that buddhi, nishchayatika buddhi. Buddhi, it is of the nature of definiteness, nishchayam. There is no samshaya. Samshaya has gone. Doubts have gone now. It has come to a certain conclusion. Please understand that it is that buddhi is not that one part of antarkarana. And Manas is another part of Antakaranam. And Akankara is another part of, no, it is not like that. It is only one Antakaranam. It plays different roles. It is only the functional difference. And therefore we have different names. Nischayatmika Buddhi. Atmika means is of the nature. So Buddhi is of the nature of Nischayam, Nischayatmika. That is, it is of the nature of ascertainment, decision making, rational thinking, logical thinking, this analyzing and conclusion, the firmness, the conclusive ability. That is Buddhi. Buddhi is Strilinga Shabda. Therefore, Nischayatmika Buddhi. Manas is Napumsakalingam. Therefore, Sankalpa Vikalpatmakam Manaha. Now, when you recognize an object as a flower, when a flower is recognized, it means you ascertain the object as a flower without any samshaya. That conclusive thought, vritti, that is called buddhi. Nischayatmika antakarana vrittihi buddhihi. The same antakaranam, now it takes the role of decision making, that is decision maker, knower, that is buddhi. The resolution of the perception in ascertaining the knowledge gained through sense organs is called buddhi. The resolution perception, that is the faculty of buddhi. The analysis and the processing of the whole lot of information which the antakaranam got through the sense organs now ascertains and arrives at the firm conclusion. That is what the operation of buddhi. Next, ahankarta, ahankaraha. Ahankara. Ahankara is that which says that I am the subject. I am the subject, that is ahankara. The sense of individuality, the notion of I am the doer, ahamkarta, that is ahankara. Ahamkarta, ahankriti is ahankara. I am the doer. I am hearing. I am talking. I am teaching. I am studying. That is ahankara. When the thought, the vritti, it relates to the subject, the very subject, it is ahankara. And this could be with respect to any jnanam or karma, any knowledge or action. The identification with the body and the mind, either in terms of action or knowledge, that by which you identify with various factors is ahankara. One who says, this is my body, etat mama shariram, etat mama manaha, this is my mind, aham etat akaravam, I did this, aham tat akaravam, I did that. So I did this, I did that, it's all ahankara. The very subject is called ahankara or ahankritihi. And this is also in the form of a thought. Ahankara is also the form of vritti only. It is a special thought, vishesha vritti. Why it is a special thought? Because all the thoughts of the antakaranam, they keep varying. But this ahankara, this doesn't vary. It is there. It is constant. Therefore, it has the special status, vishesha vritti. And ahankara, remember, the ahankara is also used in a different sense, like the pride, the sense of pride. Here it is not used in that sense. Everyone, because everyone has a sense of ahankara, and therefore doesn't mean everyone is pride. So that is not the meaning here. The I notion, that is the right translation for ahankara. And in English it is called egotism. Egotism is different from egoism. So that is ahankriti, ahankara. Then the next one, Chintanakartru Chittam. Chintanakartru Chittam. Chittam is that which recollects, which does recollection. The faculty of remembering, that memory, that is called Chittam. It is defined as Chintana Karta. Chintana Kartru, Chintana Karta. The one who does Chintanam. That is Chittam. Chintanam is Anusandhanam, recollection. Recollection based upon previous, past experience. So it's a different process altogether. This judgment, this evaluation, they are all included in the Chitta, because judgment or evaluation, it requires the remembrance of the past experience. When you say this is good, this is bad, this is right, or this is wrong in a given situation, any such judgment or evaluation, it is based upon your past experience and knowledge. Therefore, all these things, it is stored in the Chitta. The one who has a maximum experience, he will be able to judge well, because he has more information. And recollection of those knowledge gained through past experience, that is required for thinking, and that is defined as Anusandhatmika Chittam. Chintanakartru Chittam. Chintanam is thinking or bringing back to memory. What has been stored, that you bring back to the conscious level. That is Chintanam. And Chittam, that is the memory, the storage, it has both good and pleasant, good and bad, pleasant and painful experiences. So it is like the hard disk, inbuilt hard disk given by Bhagavan. Yes, Bhagavan has given that inbuilt hard disk which stores all the information, a whole lot of information, and that based on that information, you think and decide. So, Chittam, which is the inbuilt, it's a good memory device given by Bhagavan. That is why the knowledge, the jnana, it has to be stored in the memory. Knowledge with regard to anything. The Subhashita, famous Subhashita, probably you will be knowing. Pustakasta tu ya vidya parastam gatam dhanam karyakale samutpanne nasa vidya natad dhanam. Pustakasta tu ya vidya, the knowledge which is there in the book, and parahasta gatam dhanam, the money, that is your money which you have given to someone, will be of no use when you need, as they don't serve the purpose. Karyakale samutpanne nasa vidya natad dhanam. What is the use of knowledge stored in the books if it is not stored in the memory? Therefore, sa na vidya, that is not vidya. Because when you want to refer the book and you don't know where you have kept the book. If it is there in your memory, you can just recollect and see. Therefore, similarly, dhanam also. Dhanam, when it is required for you, your own money, if you don't have, then it is not dhanam at all. Therefore, sa na vidya, tat na dhanam. Therefore, this knowledge which is to be stored in the memory, that is Chittam. The storage house of all the knowledge is Chittam. With this, we have covered the topic of this Antakaranam. This Antakaranam, when we talk about Antakaranam, we can also include the subconscious, the unconscious also. Unconscious also can be included in Chittam, as it is related to our past experiences, the memory. Therefore, it can be included. Or it can include in Ahankara also. And this intuition can be included in the Buddhi. So, all this, they constitute our Antakaranam, which is born of Samashti Sattvika Amsha of Panchamaha Bhutani. Now, after the discussion of this Antakaranam, the author he mentions the presiding deity, the Devata of each faculty of the Antakarana. That we will see. Like the presiding deities of each sense organs of perception and sense organs of action, like Shrotra Siddhik Devata, Vacho Vannihi, Upastasya Prajapatihi. Similarly, Mano Buddhi Chitta Ahankara, it also has a corresponding Devata that we will see. I will recite and you can repeat after me. And before that, today I had to go early, so therefore we will stop the class before 15 minutes, maybe. I'll let you know that. Okay. Now we can repeat after me. Manaso Devata Chandramaha.
Manaso Devata Chandramaha.
Buddhehe Brahma.
Buddhehe Brahma.
Ahankarasya Rudraha.
Ahankarasya Rudraha.
Chittasya Vasudevaha.
Chittasya Vasudevaha.
Okay. It's very simple. Manasaha, Manaso Devata is what is Manaso Devatas? Manaso, what is the word Manaso? What vibhakti is Manaso? Manas is the Pratipadika, Sakarantaha, Napumsakalingaha, Manas Shabdaha. I'm not making the Sanskrit class, but simple Sanskrit. So the meaning should be known to you. The vibhakti, the meaning is simple, meaning you know. The vibhakti and the Pratipadikam you must be knowing. Manasaha, that becomes Manaso. The Shashti vibhakti. Manasaha Devata, Devata of the Manas is Chandramaha. Buddhehe Brahma. Buddhehe is Shashti vibhakti. Ahankarasya, Chittasya, all these are Shashti vibhakti, and what follows that is the names of the Devata. So the presiding Devata of Manas is Moon, Chandrama. The presiding deity of Buddhi is Brahma. The presiding deity of Ahankara is Rudra, and the presiding deity of Chittam is Vasudevaha. So Manasaha Devata Chandramaha. The moon is the Devata. It is not the physical moon. Chandra Devata is the deity, presiding deity. Physical moon is only a symbol of the Chandra Devata. There is a connection between the mind and the moon. The function of the mind is governed by the Chandra Devata. Emotions, feelings, the thoughts, they all governed by the Chandra Devata. That is why Chandra has a special place even in our horoscope, the place of Chandra. Not only the waves, it rise up during full moon and new moon. Even the mind of some people also, if you observe, their mind will rise up. They will behave erratically during those times, the full moon and the new moon. So that clearly shows that there is a connection between the moon and the mind. Chandra Devata is the presiding deity. Then Buddhehe Brahma. There is a reason why the names of the devatas are given. I tell you later. That is Buddhehe Brahma. Brahma is the presiding deity of Buddhi. And Surya Bhagavan also it is considered, it's also mentioned as Devata of Buddhi somewhere, but here it is given Brahma. So Brahma. It is Brahma, not Brahma. Brahma is different, Brahma is different. Here Brahma is Brahmaji. Brahmaji, we are adding G. G means it denotes a person, the creator, not Brahman. For creation, knowledge is required. Jnana. Like the pot maker, he has a knowledge of pot. That know-how of pot. Katasya karta. Katasjnana. Similarly, the creator Brahmaji also should be all knowledgeable, should have all knowledge to create this jagat. Therefore, Sarvasya karta, Sarvajnyaha. So knowledge is there, and that place of knowledge is Buddhi, and we all have Buddhi. Therefore, Brahma is the deity of Buddhi. Okay, and that Devata, that is Dharmaji, Devata of the proper thinking, that is Dharmaji. Ahankarasya Rudraha. Rudra, Lord Shiva, you can say one form of Shiva is the presiding deity of Ahankara. Okay, and Chittasya Vasudeva. Vasudeva is, we know what Vasudeva is, how the word comes. Vasudeva Sriya Patyam Paman Vasudeva, it is Vishnu, the one Vishnu. And he is the presiding deity of Chitta. If you remember, we have seen that Lord Vishnu is also the presiding deity of one sense organ. What is that? Padayogo Vishnu, we saw in the Pancha Karmendriyani, we have seen. Lord Vishnu is also the Devata for the Pada, feet. So, here, in addition to being the Pada Devata, podiatrist, now the Vasudeva, Lord Vishnu, he has another important job. What is that? Keeping our memory intact. Keeping our memory intact to maintain the transaction. Otherwise, there will be chaos whenever there are hara. Therefore, Vasudeva is the presiding deity. And Chittam is Medha Shakti. Chittam is Medha Shakti, the faculty to remember and recollect that what we studied in the previous class is because of this power. Otherwise, every class we have to start with Vasudevendra Yogi Indram. So we can't do that. Therefore, Medha Shakti is important. His presiding deity is Vasudeva. And therefore, this Antakaranam, the mind, what we call in English, if you see now, it is connected to the total. Samashti, see, Chandrama, the Devata, the presiding deity of mind is Chandrama, Buddhi, Dharma, Ahankara, Rudra, Chitta is Vasudeva. When we say, they are all Devata, not only of my mind, it is everybody's Antakaranam. Right? So, each individual is connected to the total. That presiding deity of the total faculty of Manas is Chandrama. The presiding deity of the total faculty of Buddhi is of Brahma. An individual also has this. Therefore, they are the presiding deity. Now you see the connection. The individual is connected to the total. And these devatas are nothing, they are not different from the Ishvara, the Brahma, the creator, Jagat Karan Brahma. So what is there is only Ishvara. So the individual is connected to the total individual faculty. So therefore, there is always a connection with the Ishvara. And no one is an isolated person. You are connected to Ishvara all the way, all the time, all the way. Therefore, the connection to the Ishvara, the infallible order of Ishvara, you can see. And therefore, when you hear with your Shotram, you are connected. When you see, you are connected. When you smell, you are connected. When you taste, you are connected. When you walk, when you touch, when you work, when you are awake, when you are asleep, you are connected to Ishvara. You are ever connected to the Ishvara, the whole. So therefore, the reason for mentioning the individual presiding names of the individual presiding deities is to show that all the deities who preside the total individual faculty, they are connected. They are nothing but Ishvara, and you are connected to Ishvara. Therefore, you are ever connected to the Ishvara, and what we have to do is we have to recognize that connection. We don't have to establish any new connection. Already the connection is there, and the connection has to be recognized. That is the beauty of that's why the names of the Devata are given. When you can see the connection, you will appreciate the idea. So with this, we have covered all the 19 factors of Antakaranam. Why it is 19? We have seen only Saptadasha Kalabhihi. Pancha Jnanendriyani, Pancha Karmendriyani, Pancha Pranadayaha, Manaschayakam, Buddhischayaka. only 17 comes if you count. How it has become 19? Because Chittam and Agankara, they are mentioned separately. Antakaranam is divided into four. One is Buddhi, Chitta, Agankara. It has become four. Therefore, 17 has become 19. Whether you call it as 17 or 19, it is nothing but they are part of the Antakaranam. If you include the Chittam and Agankara in Manas and Buddhi, it is 17 only. Therefore, Saptadasha Labhihi. So with this, now this Antakaranam also is born. And now from this, the Stula Srishti is going to start. That we will see in the next class. So we will stop here. We will continue our Stula Srishti in the next class. Om Purnamada
Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari Om